Welcome back to depression-youarenot-alone.com. To my right is the lovely and talented Lou.
Hello.
Behind the camera, who you have not seen, is the lovely and more talented John.
Lovelier.
And I am Shannon. In today's podcast, we are talking about...
We're going to talk about the stat that came out this past week, I believe it was 6 days ago, on teenage suicide. And this was specifically to young teenage girls, that almost 1 in 3 have seriously considered suicide. Teenage girls, almost 1 in 3.
It's pretty high.
I think that's a pretty
Pretty bad numbers.
Yeah.
pretty scary stat. Of course, people can say, well, but they don't actually commit suicide. No, but it means that's quite a few young girls that are struggling with
There's
something.
an issue.
Well,
Yeah.
you think 1 in 3 actually considers?
Seriously.
Seriously?
Yeah, there's a problem.
How many actually do it?
We don't have that.
With those numbers?
We don't have that, but
No, we don't have
the
those
fact
numbers.
that 1 in 3 seriously have considered it is scary, especially if they have clinical depression at a young age, don't even know it yet, and they have more coming at them later on in life. I think it's important to be aware early and young if you have any form of clinical depression or anything, bipolar, any mental illness. To know as soon as possible is very important. I know it's very difficult with girls, teenage girls.
I'm glad I don't have any.
I raised 3. So if there are parents out there that have girls, will say, oh, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Your dad raised 2.
Yeah.
We survived it, so did I barely, I guess. It's difficult to communicate with not just girls, boys too, but girls, I can speak from my experience, very difficult to communicate with them. But I think it's important is that the signs will usually be there that if a young person has seriously considered taking their own life, you will see a sign of some kind. Wouldn't you agree?
Well,
The parents. I'm not talking about everybody.
Well, it depends on the parent, but yes, there are signs there. It's the type of parent
It doesn't depend on the parents. I'm saying the signs are there. Whether people
the signs are there in
pick
the
up on
child,
it.
yes. Whether the parents pick up on them or not,
Exactly.
I don't know.
Or a best friend.
Or a best friend.
Or
Or it could
sibling.
be a best friend,
Or a
yeah.
sibling, a
Yeah.
brother or
Yeah.
sister.
And those are the 3 choices you probably really have.
And I'll say this too: if you're a brother or sister and you see your brother or your sister, maybe younger than you or even older than you see that something's not right with them, maybe you go to your parents and tell them. Or
Yeah.
try to talk to your brother or sister. Now, if the age gap is huge, obviously probably not going to work out very well. It depends.
don't know.
Everybody's
You don't
different.
know.
Everybody's different. But finding out is important. Like we've mentioned in other episodes where you hear of people that committed suicide and then you hear friends and families say they didn't know it was this bad or they didn't see this, they didn't understand or whatever. I think this happens too much with parents, especially those parents that want to be their friends, not parents, want to be friends. And some parents will say, oh no, because we're friends, so my kid will come to me. It's different when there's a mental crisis. Sometimes they don't go to anybody. And that's why they consider suicide. Because they don't have an out, someone they can trust or talk to, or just not in them to open up. We're outside on our dog. Our dog
Well,
is
wait, we
always
have a
barking.
neighbor that's making noise over there, so my dog's barking at him. Go ahead.
So anyway, 1 in 3. That's a
That's
lot.
extremely
of people.
sad.
No, we have stress today that we didn't have when we were younger. For example, when we were younger, bullying was usually face-to-face, right? Or in school or after school.
Yeah, when you can fight back.
But now
or
they have
after
bullying
school
on
in the
social media.
classroom or something. And now we have people that commit suicide because they got bullied on social media from someone they don't even know. They never met.
Yep.
I believe there's another issue there with that person that will give into that. There are other issues. For someone to actually be bullied to commit suicide by someone they don't even know.
Yeah, and a lot of that stems from, not everything, a lot of it stems from cliques in high school, from people, because that person doesn't fit in their group, so they're chastised. There's just or they're a little bit different than the clique, the popular group. And
They don't
those
have as
people are
nice,
outcasts.
nice clothes.
Yeah,
Clothes aren't as nice.
the world's at your
or-
feet on why you could be bullied. But that's why I think it's important for, not for parents to intrude on their child's social media accounts. That's not where I'm going. But if they see,
Really, I'll go there.
No, well, hold
I'll
on.
go there.
If there are signs, you don't just intrude on there if there's nothing wrong. But if there's signs there that your child
Spy on them.
well, if there
Yeah,
are
big time.
signs of
They're kids, they don't know
something
any
is
better.
off with my child, yeah, I think you should get onto their social media account and find out what's going on, because seven times, maybe 8 times out of 10, they are being bullied or there's something going on, and you're the one that can help save them, right?
And it's important to know if you pick up. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
If you pick up on a sign, to know what it is.
Yeah, better be safe
Is it
than
a
sorry.
situation where, she got in a fight with her best friend? Okay,
It
get
could be
over
nothing.
it. Or get over it, whatever.
Or it could be
the
everything.
boyfriend, or I didn't make the cheerleading squad, or I failed a test. A situation like that where, your kid's bummed right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we
Right, and
we all have
move on.
situations where we get bummed and move on. But if there's I don't want to talk about it, leave me alone, isolation, this can
There's
get
an-
serious. This can end up with drugs, especially when you're young, right? Go to drugs, go to start hanging out with different people that now are accepting me, but maybe those are the wrong people. There's so many.
Maybe become a
you can't-
recluse,
you
whatever.
can sit here giving 1,000 examples. The important thing is to find out what is wrong.
Yeah.
It cracks me up when you have parents that, not really a parent, I want to be my kid's friend. Yeah, but you know what? Your kid needs an adult to look out for them, to teach them. Because if your kid also messes up or does something horribly wrong, they're coming after you, the parent. Now the friend part, I don't want to be a parent, I want to be a friend. Guess what? Now, you got to answer for your child. Now they're coming at you as a parent, not as your kid's friend. And I don't understand. That
That's not a
that
cool
mentality
parent, yeah.
of I want to be the cool parent. I want to be their friend. Okay, who's going to be the parent? I don't.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Well, there's too many
Who's gonna
people
be a
doing that,
parent?
too.
Well, it's going to
Another
eventually
thing,
come back and
there's-
get you.
Supposedly, there's a correlation with the increase in teen suicides with social media.
Of course, because
As social media has become more and more popular, there's
like
been
we
more and
said,
more teen
people are
suicides.
getting bullied on social media and will
Yeah.
commit suicide because they're being bullied by someone they don't even know.
Yeah.
But there's
or they
another
do know.
issue there. Or they do know. But there's another issue. It's also another way of people getting together for great things, and it's also a way of people attacking you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would just get involved with it. If you see even the slightest change, at least look into it.
Yeah, I mean, there are parents that will say to their kid, I want to see your Facebook page. I want to see it.
I think more
With
parents
you,
should say
you
that.
in front of me, you go ahead, open. I want to see it. I want to see what's
Yeah.
on there. I want to see what you're doing. And then there are parents that, if they try and the kid goes, this is mine, leave me alone. You know,
Which a
don't
lot
touch
will
it."
do.
Really? Okay. Who paid for that computer?
Yeah.
Who paid for your phone? Who
Yeah.
pays? So I pay for all your stuff. I'm your parent. I'm responsible for you, and you're telling me nothing is my business. I need to just shut up and walk away. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. For some parents, I guess that does.
Well,
You know why? You know why too? I've said this before, because it's easier that way. And
Yeah.
it's not easier when your kid is on drugs. Your kid feels neglected. Or something terrible happens. Or your kid has clinical depression. Or is bipolar. You don't know.
and sometimes as a parent, you have to step out of your comfort zone, right? Because you
Every
have,
day.
Well, no. If you have a
As a parent, all the time.
okay.
All the time.
Okay.
Especially when there's something not right. Yeah, you have to ask questions. They don't want to. They don't want to hear your questions. You want answers. They don't want to give you answers. So either you bite your tongue, zip it, let things happen,
And don't do that.
which is wrong,
Don't do that.
or you're like, no, I'm your parent.
Yep.
When you turn 18,
you're on your own.
Then you can tell me to shut up.
Then
Then
you can
I,
tell
you know,
me.
what can I say?
Well, you gotta face it, there's people out there that would never meant to be parents anyway.
No.
And they
No.
should have been.
Well, yeah, but
No.
well, we're talking about people that.
But it's never
already-
too late to try to change things.
Yeah.
No.
Step
to
up
change things.
when you see something that's a little off. Step up, even if it's uncomfortable. Go out of your way. Get involved.
Yeah, and the reason I'm saying that and what you're saying
Could
is
save a
because
life.
when we say 1 in 3 teenage girls have seriously considered suicide, I think a lot of parents need to step up.
Yeah.
A lot. Again, it could be nothing.
And it could be nothing. And right, so you stepped up. Okay, whatever.
Could be nothing, but it also could be that child.
But it's a parent caring.
That child that is very sensitive to everything
Yeah.
because maybe they have clinical depression.
Maybe.
Maybe they have a mental condition. Wouldn't you want to know now?
Yeah, you would.
Now.
Now is the time.
Hey, listen, a lot of parents out there, I know this because from a lot of parents I knew. You have no problem putting your kid on Ritalin and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's the
You
big.
had no problem doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You had no problem doing that. We talk about mental illness all the time. Not us, on media, on news, everywhere.
It turns out that Ritalin shit, a lot of kids were put on Ritalin, and then later on they found out that they were just bored in school. They were too advanced to be there. They were just bored.
Yeah, but a lot
You're
of doctors
supposed-
were just pushing it.
Yeah, a lot of
Okay,
If
but,
you say
but
so.
hold on. Some people do need Ritalin. Some people are
Of
supposed
course.
to be on Ritalin. So
Of course.
let's just make
But
sure
not
this is
every
right.
single kid
I
needs to be
agree.
on that.
I agree. Some people are misdiagnosed.
Some people
things-
need to be.
Yeah.
Some people have a mental condition. They need to be on 2 medications, and they're on 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which just makes things worse.
I can say that with a straight face.
Yeah.
Because I was there. I went from was 6 or 7 to 1, and then to 0.
Yeah.
So I can say, are there people that are over medicated? Absolutely. Are there kids that are over medicated? Absolutely. Are there people that need medication and
Yes,
aren't taking it?
absolutely.
Absolutely. But you don't know until you find out.
You don't know
And that's
until you find out.
So that's the point I want to make is, for that many kids to have those thoughts, that thought process. I think as a parent, you want to know what's going on at an early age because it could be clinical depression. It could be any mental condition
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to go away. They're not going to outgrow it.
It's not a phase.
It's not a phase. They're not outgrowing it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't take care of it and find out early, bad things can happen.
Yeah, they absolutely could.
And even if bad things don't necessarily happen, the quality of life of that young person maybe is not what it could be.
So don't be that person that says, "Oh, like you said, it's just a phase." Don't be that person.
A lot of people say that. It's
Just
way too much.
Yeah.
when you notice something that's a little off, right?
I mean, granted,
Do something about it.
teenagers have their phases.
Well, of course, every teenager has their
course, but
phase. We all had our
If
phase.
you're a smart parent, you can
But
tell if
I'm
it's
not
a
talking
phase
about that. Yeah.
or if it's a real issue.
There's a difference between
Yeah,
what we're
there's a
talking
difference.
about
But-
and like.
But the point here isn't just that. Oh well, my kid wouldn't commit suicide. My
Okay.
kid wouldn't do that.
Don't believe
it's not,
that.
But it's not just that. Even if that doesn't happen, obviously in most cases it's not going to happen. But if they do have a mental condition,
Yeah.
if you jump on it early in life, take care of it, know what's going on, they can have a better quality
Oh
of
my
life.
gosh! Yes.
Going off to college, going
Yes.
off here, have a better quality
Healthy
of life.
life.
Because you're aware, your kid is then also aware.
Yeah.
Maybe that your kid needs to stay away from alcohol and this and that because of their condition. You don't know until you find out. You don't find out unless you try, and that's the point I want to make because
Well,
it's
hopefully
very
teenagers don't
frustrating.
on alcohol, but yeah, you're right.
Listen, I've known wonderful parents, and I've known parents that shouldn't never have been parents. Everybody does. Everybody
Well,
does.
we
Not
all
me,
know
everybody
those
does.
people.
I mean, come on. We all know that. But when I would venture to say if you have a 15-year-old, 16-year-old that is seriously considering suicide, there have to be signs.
And don't ignore them.
Maybe an aunt or an uncle or a cousin that sees that child once a month or twice a month or whatever. But the parent that sees that kid every day should say, wait a minute, there's something's not right. So what do you have to do? You have to try to communicate with them. A lot of times, man, it's like climbing Mount Everest.
By the same token, you've got the parent who sees that kid every day and doesn't really notice it because it may change slowly from day to day.
That could be true.
Whereas you have a relative that hasn't seen the kid in a
Yes,
week,
and they
comes
would
out and
notice.
goes, what the hell's going on here?
I'm sorry, I disagree. There's behavior that's not. I hate saying the word normal, but it's not normal.
But
if your child is isolating themselves,
that's a
they're
different topic.
quiet.
That's a different
Yeah.
topic.
even if it gradually got there, it's there. You should notice. Wait a minute. She's 16. She's isolating herself. She doesn't talk to anybody. She doesn't want to be around us. She doesn't want to be around friends. She doesn't want to go out. She doesn't want to do anything. That's a sign.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that
but
happens. That's a big
I
sign.
agree with both of you.
And if it
though.
happened gradually, it doesn't matter. You should see this is not normal for my child.
But some people
But a lot
don't
of
see
parents
that.
don't see
Some
it.
people don't see that.
Listen, some people can't see the sunrise. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
That's true.
But we're
They
talking
can't.
about another person's life, especially your child that really counts on you, right? Counts on you not just to buy them a laptop and buy them a cell phone and buy them this and give them money for that and buy them clothes, but for these situations as well. Being a parent is not buying your kids shit.
Yeah, but the problem is some
Sorry.
parents aren't involved enough to be able to see the signs.
Yeah,
Is
and
what-
well, absolutely, that's what we're talking
Well,
about.
a lot of parents are, here's a brand new iPhone.
yeah, and then
Leave it
just go.
alone.
Be gone. Be
Yeah,
gone.
go on.
It's
Here's
Not
this,
all.
here's
Not
that.
all parents.
Not all,
Some
but
people are
why
fantastic,
doesn't-
but
why
some of them
big
are.
number.
Yeah.
And let me,
number.
in all fairness too, and there are parents that are great, involved, doing everything, and something tragic could happen. It's not their fault. They tried, but
Their
if there's a
conscience,
mental illness
Yeah.
here, a situation can put someone over an edge, especially people when they're young and they're not a lot of experience under their belt. They don't think of the future, right? They're just thinking of right now. That's what young people do. I mean,
Yeah.
a 15-year-old can break up with her boyfriend. She wants to kill herself. Okay, honey, if there's a young girl out there, let the guy go. You'll have more boyfriends. You'll have more friends.
You'll have.
You'll find
So many more boyfriends.
You'll find the right guy someday.
You will. Oh my gosh, you will.
Your life is not over
No way.
over a boyfriend.
This was
or,
just a baby bump in the
Yeah,
road.
that's- listen.
That's it.
you got a lot of living ahead of you.
So much.
A lot of great people you're going to meet.
And you will meet that person.
You'll meet that person that you actually care about, want to have a family with.
Well,
so
you have to. What do they say? You have to get to the frogs to get to the prince. You're going to have so many frogs. Well, maybe you won't, but
Well,
you're gonna
sometimes
have-
it turns out the prince is not the right one, but the frog is.
okay. Well, whatever.
that
But you're
somewhere.
going to go through. You're going to go through phases in your life where you're going to have breakups. But that's what life is about, right?
Right, but this is
experience,
right, and we can say this, but it doesn't work that way because when you're at that age, right? It's
Well, yeah.
in
you have
one
that.
ear,
Out
the
the
other
other.
ear. What do you know? You don't know anything. You have no idea what I'm going through. No, I was born at this age, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, kids tell their parents that, and the parents should just say, "No, you're right. I was never your age. I was born at this age right now.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
me. I never lived a day before this." It's hard to tell. So that's why you have
Yeah.
to notice signs.
That's true. That's very
Behavior
true.
changes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Everybody's
saying
different.
this. I know I've maybe a little repetitive. We've talked about this in the past, but these stats came out 6 days ago, and they're
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
they,
that's
they are.
horrible.
They're frightening.
you know?
They are
A
frightening.
young person should be thinking of the future.
Yes.
A teenager should be thinking about, if they want to, going off to college. You know, they should be all these great things, looking forward to these great things that'll happen in their lives. Not thinking of, I think I might want to take my life.
Yeah.
That's. Man, I tell you, this number just it just bothered me so much. I thought we had to say something.
Of course.
And of course, this is more towards the parents or friends or loved ones than to a 15-year-old that probably isn't watching us anyway.
Well, yeah, probably
You know,
not.
probably not watching us
No.
anyway. These old people? No, I don't
No,
want
no,
to talk.
sure.
I want to hear them. I want to. If there was a 13-year-old talking about this and doing her nails, yes, then they'll watch. It's reality.
Well,
Understood.
so we're talking to parents.
So we're
Get
talking to
involved.
parents,
Get
aunts,
involved.
uncles, brothers,
Yeah,
sisters.
nephews, whatever.
If you see it,
Teachers.
Whatever.
Okay, well, you know, and teachers
Just
got to deal with a lot of
Look
kids.
for the signs.
Okay.
Yeah, well, a lot of
The
teachers-
parents don't.
Yeah.
And the kid is in the home. Sorry.
The thing is, there's teachers out there that they can tell what each kid.
Oh, surely,
There's
surely.
something going on.
Yeah, and some
The problem is,
some.
when they try to talk to the kid, just tells them off.
Some maybe, not all.
Some
no,
teachers
no.
might try to contact the parents.
They
the
should.
Parents tell them off.
Some, not all.
No, well, not all.
It's
but
still
some.
worth trying.
Yeah, it's still worth
Yeah,
trying.
you have to start somewhere.
As a teacher,
Yeah.
guidance counselor,
It's definitely worth trying.
And
principal,
some of-
assistant principal, it's still worth trying.
Yeah, of course, because some can be successful, some may fail.
And you know what?
whatever.
And you
Some
never
may
know.
not care.
You never know. Life is so strange and it
Watch your kids.
turns where that kid may end up being angry with a teacher and then 20 years later saying, hey, I had a teacher in school
Saved
that
my
actually
life.
saved my life.
Exactly.
If it wasn't,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
my teacher didn't go to my parents,
Yeah.
I may have killed myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You never know how things will turn out. But you know what? There's always a better chance when something is done.
Yes.
I have said how many times, I've said this in several videos too. Doing nothing is
Does not work.
nothing.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to get a result.
You can't do nothing and said, I did the best I could.
No.
No, you really did
No,
nothing.
you didn't. You did nothing.
You did nothing.
Yeah.
Do something.
And then when something happens and nothing was done,
Well, there you go.
now it's
And there's the result.
live out my life with regret.
Yes. Pain,
Yeah.
sorrow.
This can't be turned around.
No.
This is
but
done.
You can
Can't be
attack
turned
it
around.
now. You can grasp the bull by the horn. Look for the signs.
And you're right about teachers. There are teachers that are great teachers. Now, of course, it depends on the school, number of students, all how much is going
but
on
there's
with that.
even in crappy schools, there's always that one or two great teachers
Yeah.
that cares.
Oh,
That can
course.
Well,
Well,
say,
but
hey, I
there
would
may
like
even
a
be more
parent
than
teacher
that,
conference without your
Yeah.
child. I need
It
to talk to you. And
depends.
I've seen a difference in your child. She's sad. She's sitting alone. She doesn't talk to anybody. She doesn't interact. Whatever. And
Right.
like I said, imagine that you're a teacher that does that, and 20 years later, the kid, hey,
Yeah.
you saved my life, Mrs.
Yeah.
Johnson,
So-and-so
or
or
Miss or
whatever,
Mr.
yeah.
What? You saved my life. I've heard so
Yes.
many stories like that about things like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Look around. Take
Where,
notice.
where kids got off of drugs, because
Know who your kids
teacher
are
went to the
hanging out
parents,
with.
Yeah.
and the student hated the teacher for betraying them, and all. And then later on, as an adult, grateful.
That's the biggest thing. I would want to
Grateful.
know who my kids are hanging out with. And I would want to know, honestly, I'd want to know the parents too.
So what I used to do is I used to let my kids have their friends sleep over,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause then
and
you
I
get
would
to-
drive them
Yeah.
everywhere
Yeah,
because I
time
knew
with
where
them.
they were. Instead of them saying, "I'm going to go sleep at so and so, see ya."
Yeah.
What? No, that doesn't work
not
that
gonna
way.
work that
Sorry,
way.
it doesn't work that way. Again, when you're 18,
But again, the moral of our whole story is get involved.
get
Get
involved.
involved.
Keep your eye on your kids.
You can save a life.
Or like I said, a brother or sister, whatever, because these numbers of 1 in 3
Are very sad.
teenage girls seriously considering suicide is not acceptable.
Yep.
It's scary and not acceptable.
And it starts with you.
Added to the fact that
You can
teenage
help.
suicides are at an all-time high.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can help.
and they're
In this
probably
country,
they may
anyway.
get worse with all the stresses and stress that so many young people have that we didn't even have. So I see it
we
harder
didn't have
for
social
them.
media growing up.
They have things easier where they can look things up, Google things that we
Yeah.
couldn't do, but they also have stress we didn't have.
Right.
So I think about that too. All right, folks. Well, thanks so
for
much
tuning in.
for tuning in, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. We appreciate the support, and also go to our website, depression-youarenalone.com. Follow us on Twitter, and we have articles on there for mental health, physical health, you name it. Again,
Check
thanks
it
so
out.
much. We appreciate it.
Take
And,
care. Be well.
Be well, everyone.